is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Chicken Bone Alley, brought to you by SRI Performance, Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, Earl Ramey Racing Engines, RK Motorsports Consulting, and Profab Headers and Exhaust. What is up? I'm David.
I'm Sterling. What's up, y'all?
Another week at it. Here we are.
I was waiting for your whole for the whole sponsor spiel for the driver of the number 13.
I told you I can't do that every week. I mean, I appreciate them all. Let's see. I'll go ahead and run down now. Lee's Tire and Auto, SRI Performance, Blood Eagle Racing Podcast, and Chicken Bone Alley being on the number 13 Legend car there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate
all
that.
Hey, I know. Exactly. I know I get a little more into it later, but they got some good TV time, if you will, this past weekend, so that was good.
Who's that?
Your car.
Oh, my car got good TV time. My sponsors. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, yeah. They got some front straightaway interview time and all this week, so.
See, there you go.
That was good.
There you go.
That was good. It's always good when you get an interview after the race. Normally that means you did all right.
Well, it's either you did really, really bad or you did all right. So, yeah, it can go either way.
Yeah. and we weren't mad at nobody this week, so.
That's a big plus. Big plus.
So it was good to go. Good to go. So what about you? What you been up to?
Sweating a whole lot. And trying my best not to be outside as much as possible when I get home. That's been my goal. But ain't how it always works. But man, it's been rough. It's been a rough time around here the past couple of weeks, that's for sure. And ain't letting up.
I'm telling you, bro. We was out track Saturday, and it started looking like rain, and I was not unhappy about that, actually. I was like, it could come rain for, 45 minutes, hour. If it'll cool it off, I'm good with it. And that's exactly what it actually ended up doing. And we got out there to dry the track, and apparently I've become the guy I guess because we were the first race. We had to go straight to a heat race. I became the guy that they asked if the track was good enough. So I was like, hey, I feel like I'm moving up in the world, I guess.
That's right, bud.
And I told them, no, tell everybody to move down to the bottom, because everybody was out there in cars. I mean, there's like street cars and stuff. They wanted to run like in the middle of the track. I'm like, no, tell them to move right against the wall. So
exactly.
He got down there and was telling them to do that, and they did that for probably another 15 minutes, and it was good to go.
Sweet.
So it cooled things down. You walk in the trailer, and it felt like the air conditioning was actually working.
Oh, man. Well, that makes a big difference.
It's been so hot that the last few weeks at the track, we walk in the trailer, and there's just like, we got air conditioning in there, but it's so hot. And, I got a black trailer for whatever reason that it just don't feel like it's any cooler hardly inside it is outside. We got fans and air conditioner and everything going. It's been
hot as it is, but you can't keep nothing cold. You might cool it off a little bit, but it ain't gonna be cold, that's for sure.
Nah, I need about 3 more air conditioners in there to keep it or try to get it going. But we actually looked up another air conditioner yesterday. We're thinking about putting in the trailer, have 2 of them in there. So
yeah, I don't blame you there. Need to
think about doing one of them mini splits, like they're like doing a bunch of little buildings now. But a lot of especially dirt guys and stackers and stuff, they're putting those in the stackers now. So we think about putting one in ours. So I figure if it worked for a stacker, hopefully it'll work for us.
Oh, it definitely should.
Especially as a second one.
Right.
So
yeah.
So I don't know it, but anyway, we got got the car worked on last week. Changed out oil cooler. Actually, I got a new oil cooler here on my porch. Just came in just a few minutes ago. Change on the car. But I didn't really do nothing myself last week. We worked on the car some, but other than that, like I said, it was so daggone hot. It was tough to do anything. I DJ'd a birthday party Friday night
Yeah, how was that?
A 16-year-old birthday party. It was
It was close to the
16-year-olds.
house, but
Yeah, it was like literally right behind my house.
yeah.
It was I went about a tenth of a mile down the road, turn left on the dirt road, go about a quarter mile, and it's right at the end of the road there. So
Yeah, that's not too bad.
that's not too
You
far.
can't charge travel expense for that.
No, it's all about charging for gas. You know, I went 3/4 of a mile. I used $24 in gas.
Exactly.
But it was I don't know. These kids nowadays are just different. And we was even talking about it at the party that they're just not. They're not social. Oh well, they are social. That was the thing, is they were social with each other, in their little groups. But it's like they didn't want to be inside. It was hot as on the what. They would come inside and they're sweating like on the what. I'm like, there's air conditioner in here. Why aren't y'all staying inside?
Right.
But they'd say, and I guess it's just being kids. Oh, play the next song. Go to the next song. I'm like, okay, well, what do you want to hear? I don't know.
Jeez.
So it's just, one of them deals. That's kind of how it was.
Yeah.
So I just started playing music for the little bit of older crowd that was there. I quit worrying about them.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah, but kids had a whole week of fun and game. Well, half a week of fun and games at church this past week.
Yeah, sure did.
I know last Wednesday night they had some stuff going on with bounce houses and slides and stuff, wasn't it? Or no, that was Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday night and Friday.
Yeah,
with,
Thursday and Friday.
house.
They started out with some stuff going on Wednesday night, and then Thursday, Friday they were bounce houses, slide. I know they said Jack slid down one of the slides about 47 times probably.
Yeah.
It was funny because
it
was funny because we couldn't ever get him up there before. It was hard to get him. He didn't want to go into any bounce houses. He wasn't sure about all that. Well, all of a sudden, they was there this time. They couldn't get him off of it.
Hey, go and get him one. Go and get him one. Put it in the backyard.
I'm good. I'm good. But then they went skating Saturday morning.
Yeah, they had a full time in the vacation Bible school there for sure. It was good. Adrian come and cooked hamburgers and hot dogs Friday night and had a little singing there for all the people that's been practicing, all the kids that's been practicing it up. They did great. And so we had a good time. Got face painting and all that stuff going on. So it was cool.
Yeah. Fun deal for the kids for their little back to school bash, I guess they kind of called it.
Right. Yeah.
Give them some fun time before they went back to school. I know Landon went skating before he came out to the track, so he was wore out after that.
Oh, I bet.
me
I know I was last time I went skating.
Yeah, me too. My legs hurt for a couple days after.
Exactly.
I was fixing to say, me and my dad headed on out to the track Saturday morning, about midday Saturday. But they had already been skating and everything else. They met us out there. Good. Have all that.
Yeah, for sure.
But so anyway, I reckon we can go into it at the track Saturday. Might as well, I guess, since we already been talking about it. There ain't really a whole lot to talk about in it. I mean, we went out there first round of practice, and I was a little loose then. But I was decently fast. I was second quick in the first practice. Made a change. Changed tires actually. I was like, these just don't. They just didn't feel like they was in the track. And changed tires, and it got, I don't know, the track was hotter even then, and it just still kind of felt all over the place. But everybody, I think I was third quick this time, but I was off of second by like 0.02 of a second. As far as fast lap anyway. But I think it was so hot that track just felt greasy all day. It didn't really matter what
Yep.
you did to the car. Just you couldn't get it in the track, you know. So
Right.
we went out. I started doing some looking at it, and I just thought, being it just felt like the back end been looser all day. I was kind of looking at tires, what we had on the right sides, because we were very limited on our selection of tires right now. Still, they measured the same, so I was like, let's just swap the right sides, see if it helps any before we went out in the heat race. And it really, I finished second in the heat race, and it really didn't pull off too much from me in the heat race. We felt all right. Still a little loose off, but it was quick. But so I said, I really think 9 times out of 10 at Florence Motor Speedway, when the track cools down, sun goes down, it tightens up most of the time. Every time I've been there racing, that's what it's done. Well, so I said, if it tightens up just a little bit, we should be good. Because I don't want it tight. I hate to make when you're just a little loose, you hate to make a swing at it to tighten it up, and then the track tighten up even more. Because I hate fighting tight. I personally do. I'd rather be a little on the loose side than on the tight side. Well, for whatever reason, I don't know, we had some rain come through, like I said, and for whatever reason, I don't know, I'm thinking it was maybe the humidity, because the humidity was still so high from the rain and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking because the track was just, it got super loose after that. Like, everybody was loose. I mean, you see everybody, like even the street stocks and all coming off corner, they were just sideways off 4 all the time. Right. So I don't know what happened there. So we got even looser in the main there in the feature. But in saying that, y'all go check out. I posted the in-car video up. I pretty much do it every week, but I posted this one up. Got done quick because I wanted to see it too. Finished second. We managed to finish second, but that don't really tell the whole story of the race. Me and number 12 car, Mr. Dennis Brown, we were parked beside each other and everything, and we're always right there together for some reason. But me and him were tit for tat. I mean, it's just we were glued to each other, couldn't get away from each other. I started second, took off in second for a little while, ran, I don't know, probably 8 laps or so, 10 laps in second. And all of a sudden, I guess his car got a little better than me, or I got a little loose coming out 4, I remember. And he got up under me and got around me. And he took off a little bit. Well, I started trying to adjust my line a little bit, adjust my entry and stuff like that. And I started running back down. But in the meantime, I don't know what it is about some cars being in the way. Did you see on the video the cars that we were?
Yes.
Dude, it was insane.
Yeah, that was the challenging part, was trying to figure out how to get around them that's running, I don't know, 20 mile an hour slower.
Well, running slower,
is everywhere.
Yeah, that's the thing, is running slower is fine, whatever. But don't be up on top of the straightaway, and then when people are coming to pass you, dive down in the bottom corner. Or either be on the bottom of the straightaway, and you go to pass them on the outside, and they come up the track. I'm like, dude, I got so mad one time, or not mad, I just, we're trying to race up there, we're having a good battle and stuff, and you don't want nobody to mess either one of you up, so, but it was really funny, because I already was about to do it, and we're coming out of turn 2 one time in this car, we're passing them, because he did the same, he kind of come from the top to the bottom, coming out of 2. And just messed me and Dennis both up. We both all of a sudden just throwing our hands out the window. We're like pointing him to go to the pits. Just like, dude, move somewhere.
Yeah, I can see him. I can see him definitely doing that in the video. And Yeah, he was everywhere now. That guy was.
Well, there was
Sure,
two of them. They were racing out the same trailer. One was number. I hate to call them out too much, but I think one of them was 64, and the other one was 640. Their cars looked almost identical.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And but then what was it? I think then I passed Dennis back on the inside. Well, apparently, as I'm passing him on the inside, he figures out something that his car is working better on the outside. And a couple laps later, we go down turn 1, I think it was, and all of a sudden I hear him coming to my outside. I'm like, geez, who passes on the outside here? But if you could pin somebody down, because we were so loose coming on the exit, if you could pin somebody down, you were on the outside, you could get the position. But it was something else. It was did you see it there? I think it was coming to 2 to go, I think it was. We had to split the guy going down the front stretch.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was interesting. We come out of 4, and this dude he gonna run about a lane and a half off the wall, and we're side by side coming to him. So I just dive for the inside wall, and it was something else. But anyway, I went into turn 3, and I was like, all right. Or coming down the backstretch, I had already kind of got a bumper under Dennis on the last lap there. And I figured with me having a bumper under him and him knowing the high side was working a little better for him, that he would drive it a little deeper. And so I actually backed up the corner some, and he drove it deep, but I got back to the gas before he could, and was able to grab second back from him. I don't know, probably. I think I just passed him, just cleared him pretty much at the finish line.
Right. That's awesome for sure. My question is where was the leader at in all this?
He was gone. I mean, gone. When I say gone, I mean like.
Was he already in the trailer and loaded up?
Pretty much. He done finished the race a couple laps before that. No, he no, seriously, because I said the same thing, and I looked at our times. We were coming out of 2, and he was crossing the start-finish line.
Wow.
Yeah, it was, he got something figured out. Them AK boys got something. Well, I say the AK boys, dude. There was an AK car that finished 5th.
Wow.
That we outrun. So
but, I mean,
apparently
do they have new tires or what?
I don't know. Well, no. I looked at his tires. He was sitting right there, and I looked at his tires, and they look pretty much like mine. I
just don't see how. I don't know how you can have it. I mean, you can visually see it on the start of the race there. I didn't get to see him very long, but at the start of the race there, he just pulled you like crazy off of 2 and off of 4. I mean, it was just so obvious he had so much more forward bite than everybody. I just don't know how he was getting it hooked up like that.
No, me neither. That's it's he definitely wasn't spinning nowhere. I can promise you that.
It sure didn't look like it. That's for sure, man.
He went through the corners, and that thing was just planted. And yeah. I could tell in the heat race and in the feature there when I was running second, it was like all the little places that everybody else's car was kind of bobbling loose and stuff. His was just hooked and gone. So they got something figured out on that car at least.
Yeah, for sure.
He was. I put it this way: my fastest time and his fastest time, and I finished second. He was half a second faster than me.
Oh.
So that's why I'm like, yeah, I finished second. Now I'm looking at it, I'm like, dang.
Hey man, I don't know, but was that some kind of super legend car or something? Like a super late model? It might have been a super legend.
I had a limited in that one, but
dude, that's crazy. I mean, yeah. But I don't know, man. You know, it's hard to say, you know, with tires or whatever, what could cause all that. But
It was just funny because he was like that. He was like that all day long. No matter where we ran, his fastest time would be 0.3 to a half a second faster than us.
Yeah, that's hard. I don't understand that. I mean, but as far as Legends Car Series around here, what all do they do to police that class? They do a lot. I mean, as far as what you can do to the cars or what?
Well, we're supposed to go by INX rules. Now, in saying that, I know they did. I actually had to go through tech the other night, so I was glad about that. I know I'm giving up weight to them. It's not as much as what it was. I'm only giving up, I think about 25 pounds now.
Okay.
So it's not, you know, just a whole heck of a lot. But so we did have to go over scales, everything, and they put a durometer on everybody's tires, first, second, and third. There's basically what they've done is I guess they got a reading. I guess with them hot, I don't know what that number is. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah.
I know ours were well within it. So everybody passed that tech. I know there is, let's just say you want to protest somebody, you think something's wrong. There's a whole process with it, with the INX rules. Everything has a price to tech, and everything actually has a fine with INX that you got to pay.
Huh.
Yeah.
So the protesters got to pay the fine, the fee, or the person is wrong.
Yeah, person wrong's got to pay a fine before they can come back and run an INX race. But our problem is, and this is my way of thinking, is there's certain things on there we could protest. It's going to cost us a couple $100, like $250 to protest. This past Saturday night, that was the most as far as winning wise, the most I've raced for yet between Florence and Dillon. It was $200 to win.
Yeah. So it's really no point in it.
So exactly. I mean, you could do it, but you're not really going to gain anything. And there's nobody actually there to tech it. Now there are tech officials there. They could pull whatever part off, but they would have to send it off to INX.
Right.
To have it teched. So I don't know. I mean, I don't like him the other night. Say I wanted to protest. I don't know where I would have protested. You know what I'm saying? I don't.
Yeah, right.
I don't know what I would have done.
You don't know what you called out.
Exactly.
Right,
yeah. This just throwing this out there. I'm not saying that they were doing this at all. I'm not saying that, so nobody take it that way. I'm just throwing this out there. The only thing, like, I could, and I don't know, I have to go back and look at all the rules on this because I don't run the FZ09. I run the old 1250 still. You know, people were talking jump when I started running 1250. Oh, you ain't gonna do nothing with that 1250. You gonna run if you ain't got FZ09, you can't run with them. Blah 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 blah. Well, guy literally told me to my face one time for he knew the car I bought. He literally called my car he used every word. He called my car a POS to my face one time. And so I was like, oh, okay. Well, next race I ran with him, I lapped him. So
okay, well.
So it's just one of them deals. But I don't know. I've wondered. I know there's a lot of people out there a lot smarter than me, because FZ09 runs a ECM with throttle bodies that are connected to it and everything else, fuel injected. I'm running carburetors. Mine'd be a lot tougher to do it. I wonder if through that ECM they could pretty much set up a kind of a quasi traction control for them cars. You know, there's people out there. But I don't know what the process is on if there is a process on you know, protesting those. I don't know.
Well, my other,
like I said, I'm not saying they were. I'm just saying, if I was going to look at something, is that something to look at? I don't know.
right. Well, it just makes you wonder when you're that much difference in speed. I mean, you talking about half a second is, and it's not just you was off half a second. I mean, the whole field was off a half a second or more.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
You know, I mean, that's pretty much like I mean, literally like a Cup car versus the Xfinity car. I mean, that's a big, you know, it's just like, what the world, what's going on? So it makes you think, first off, is it something wrong with what we got going on in our package or whatever, versus is it they're doing something they're not supposed to do? Who knows? I don't know. But it just makes you feel more, at least more in line with the rest of the field when 90% of y'all is running relatively close, and then you know what I'm saying. So
oh yeah, oh yeah.
It's just kind of, that's kind of funny there, but.
And I feel like, but the thing is, I'll give this is his fastest time they turn tonight is of Saturday night. I have turned a faster time than that over there.
Right.
So, you know, that's kind of where I'm like, well, were we just that much? Was everybody just that much off? You know. So
right. It's
hard to say. I mean, I know we were off.
Well, I don't know. It's just everybody was I mean, like you said earlier, every class out there could not get forward bite.
Right.
Every class. And every car in your class, except for that car, could not get forward bite. And it's just hard for me to understand how.
Oh, it is me too.
Out of 150 cars that's out there, there's one car that gets forward bite. I just don't understand it. I mean, but whatever.
Especially you know, the lightest cars out there. How'd you get forward bite and you got the lightest car out there?
Exactly. I don't know. Maybe he was wearing a forward bite hoodie. I don't know. But maybe so.
Maybe so. I don't know. He put it on us for sure. So I don't know. We'll go back to the drawing board this week. Got a few things to do to it. Nothing major, and we'll be back at Florence this coming Saturday. Try some other stuff. So I don't know.
Well, my other question: are you running what gear are you running in at Florence? Are you running in fourth?
I run in fourth gear at Florence. I run in fourth gear pretty much Florence and Dillon, both places we run at most of the time. I run in fourth gear.
Would changing the gear a little bit and running fifth, would that help you with your forward bite coming off, you think, or no?
It could, but I think it's going to kill my straightaway speed. It's just it's going to lug so much in RPM that
right.
It's just going to kill because we actually took gear out of it. I don't know. I guess about a couple months ago now. For these two tracks, I tell everybody we're running. I don't care. We were running a 358 gear, which is just what came in the car when we got it, and it was close when we were, learning the car. But as we got better with it, I started hitting rev limiter pretty hard. I think I ran third at Dillon one night, but I was all over the rev limiter, like halfway down the straightaway. I was like, dang, if I would have had the right gear in it that night, I think we might have won the race. So we dropped back to a 342, which is what pretty much everybody I hear over there at Florence is running. I have heard some boys are running a 333, which is tough for me to believe. But they're also running FZ09s. So their gear, if you look
if that's the case, could they be shifting or what?
Well, they were the other week because a lot of them boys were running the shootout up at Charlotte, and a lot of them boys put like a what they tell me they were running. I forgot, like a 390 gear or something like that for Charlotte.
Yeah,
and they were having to shift. And I never heard the car that won. I never heard him shift anywhere. Because you can hear it when they go down in the corner.
Oh, yeah.
I never heard him shift, and he sounded like he was running about the same RPM on takeoff as everybody else was. So, I don't know. He was pretty strong on the starts and everything, too. So that, like I said, I heard some guys run 333, but it seems like you'd be a little slower on takeoff if you're running a 333 with it.
Oh, for sure.
We were close on takeoff, so. But they claim that a 1250 and the FZ09 can run the same gear, as far as, rear gear. But the FZ09 will run in third gear, where I'm going to run in fourth gear.
Okay. Yeah.
So I don't know. I have not found an actual definitive answer on that, but I do know they're really, really close. Well, I say they're close, but I think we actually pull a little bit harder at the end of the straightaway. So I think ours, because I'm not hitting since I changed gear, I got to be turning some really, really, really good lap times to hit rev limiter at the end of the straightaway at Florence Motor Speedway.
Right. Well, and definitely you had to worry about it this past weekend because, like you said, and if everybody go back and watch the video, you could not get anything forward momentum coming off, and that was tough.
No. It was just work it out to the edge of the track and hope for the best.
Yeah, it definitely looked like you were on dirt. Honestly, that's what it looked like.
No, I mean, there's even a lot of times I'm going in the corner and steering wheel's just already to the right.
Yeah, I can see your hands. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know if there was still moisture there since y'all were the first race, or
well, we were the first heat race, but then we were like there were but 2 races after as far as main wise. So no, track was plenty dry. It went the complete opposite way of which it normally does when we're over there.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason. I don't know.
That's crazy.
It was. I don't know if it was. I don't think it's any different tire. I know it's all Hoosier tires. I don't know if it's any different number on the tire or whatever. So, who knows? Who knows? But we'll be back next week. Try it again. Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it'll be a little bit cooler. I doubt. But maybe.
Probably not.
Probably not. I know I thought just about to cool down here because it all of a sudden started pouring down rain. But I think it's already quit.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but I think it's already quit. It didn't last long.
Man, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. I swore y'all wasn't going to race Saturday night because where I was, it was monsoon and it looked like Twister movie out there where I was at. It wasn't even raining up here.
Dude, it rained, and I mean, it wasn't even a hard rain. I mean, they were out there qualifying. It was just enough rain for them to pull them off the track because it wouldn't have been quite fair qualifying. But it was so hot that it did not take long at all for it to dry it back up. I mean, it was
right.
It didn't rain enough to really say it rained. Put it this way, the dirt inside the track, all that wasn't even wet. No, it wouldn't.
Knock the dust down a little bit.
That's literally all it did. All it did.
Yeah.
So, like I said, we'll be back Saturday night, Florence Motor Speedway again. This past weekend, the crew, Ron Barfield and the crew from Dillon Motor Speedway came over there and run it because they ran a mass race, and that was a good race. I'm gonna talk about it for a minute because we talked about it last week, the mass race. This week, it was kind of the little Ricky Locklear Jr. and Gary Ledbetter Jr. The juniors were going at it this week. I think there was about 12 cars showed up. But they ran first and second there for a long time. They were fighting back and forth. Well, it was really bad, and I ain't trying to call them out for it, but it's like, how do you say one is racing when one wasn't racing? because last week we talked about it. Bobby Tumbleston got into Jeff Sparks coming out of 4 at Dillon in what was said to be a racing accident. Spun Jeff Sparks down the front straightaway. Jeff had to go to the back. Bobby stayed up front. And they kept on racing. Jeff made it back to second. Okay, whatever. Well, this week, Gary Ledbetter Jr. was leading. Ricky Locklear Jr. was second. Well, it was a tight battle. They ran side by side for many, many laps. But like I said, they would come out of 4, and a lot of times both of them would get loose. I mean, they'd be sideways entering the straightaway. Well, they come out of 4. To me, I'm standing on the front straightaway looking down at turn 4 on the inside in the pits. And to me, it looked like Gary Ledbetter Jr. got a little bit loose. Ricky could have got a little bit loose earlier and had chased the car up track just a little bit, and they just touched. And it spun Gary Ledbetter Jr. down the straightaway. Well, what they do this week? They put them both in the back.
Huh.
So was
it the same? Was it the same officiating crew or what?
Yeah. Well, yes and no, because that's Ron's. As far as officials there, yes, Ron Barfield and all them, they run that Mass Street Stock Series. That is their series. Now the flag man, that was Florence Motor Speedway's flag man, but I don't think he had anything to do with it. I think it was a call from the tower because that's
right. Yeah.
So I didn't really understand that because, like I said, to me, it looked like a racing. It looked more of a racing accident than last week's racing accident. But
maybe they felt like they owed Bobby Tillman something from New Year's. Maybe that's what it was.
Bobby wasn't even there, so I don't know.
Well, I'm saying last week.
Maybe
they let him stay. Maybe they let him stay up there because of what happened New Year's. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? But it was interesting. It made it a really good race afterwards because they were in the back. Wayne Locklear kind of got up front at that point, run a good race. Well, them boys come from the back. They get a couple more cautions. They come from the back and made it a 3-car race for the lead. Had a caution right at the end, green, white checker, and Little Ricky was able to get around them and for the win. I don't even think Gary Ledbetter Jr. was mad about it. I think he kind of understood that it was a racing accident too.
Right. Well, them guys have been racing together for a long time, so I know they got some sort of respect for each other. But the one thing I'm kind of surprised about is the show out. I mean, maybe people were kind of scared of the rain or weather or whatever, but
I think that's exactly what it was this week.
There.
I think that's exactly what it was this week. I mean, there were still good, decent car counts, I guess. I mean, if you consider 12 or so in each class, I think we had 9 or 10, I think, in ours. Every class was kind of about like that, 8, 9, 10, something like that. And then, like I said, I think Street Stocks had about 12 or so. I think that's exactly what it was. I think everybody thought it was going to rain. I know some guys that we race with, legend cars wise, they didn't come because he said, I'm pretty sure it's going to rain. So,
right.
Which, I mean, you know, I get it anymore. I really do. I hate that, but I get it because gas ain't cheap by no means.
No, it ain't.
And
no, sure ain't.
If you drive like this guy, I know he lives in Charleston. That's 2.5 hour drive from where he is. You know, that's right 5 hours worth of driving he's going to have to do. And if it rains out, oh, well.
Right.
I mean, exactly. You're not really worried about the money anyway, but, I mean, you just, you know, you're going to drive up there and not even race if it rains. So, I get it.
Well, if you could come up there and potentially win $1,000 or whatever, then you know, you would kind of justify your 5 hour work around trip. But coming up there for $100, $200 with a chance of rain, it ain't worth it.
Exactly. I'd like to, if I knew we had our tires in order and all that stuff, which we don't. Carteret County next week, I think it's the 13th. So that's not this coming weekend, but next weekend. They're racing for 3,000 win for legend cars.
What?
Yeah, that's gonna be a show.
Man, you need to go at least scout a little bit in that.
That's the Davy Allison Memorial. It's a INEX Nationals qualifier.
Wow.
So
that's huge for legend cars, man.
Yeah, they were supposed to run for 1,000 this past weekend, but it rained them out. So
wow.
So yeah, good stuff. But we'll definitely be back at it, and we'll try to figure it out some more, and hopefully have some good stuff come about with it. But anyway, guys, time to move on to this week's edition of Hotlaps.
This is Hotlaps, presented by SRI Performance, Stock Car Steel and Aluminum.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, back on another edition here of Hotlaps with our friends here from this week, SRI Performance. We got Mr. Jack Moynihan on here. How's it going, Jack?
I'm glad to be here. I've had a bunch of coworkers on here before, so excited to get my turn to throw my 2 cents in here.
There you go. That's what we need. We need at least 3 cents today, though.
Gotcha.
Oh, good deal, Jack. Well, we're going to get started with it. First of all, I like to ask everybody on here, basically, how did you get involved in the racing industry or in racing in general?
Gotcha. So I think my story's maybe not the same as some of the other people that came before me. So SRI is really my first job in the racing industry. However, I've kind of always been around it. My previous position, I worked for a performance shop up in Greensboro, not necessarily in racing, mostly just street stuff. And the guys that worked there, they did a lot of sports car racing. So SCCA, stuff like that. We had a Subaru BRZ that we'd take to the track, and the former owner had all his trophies up in the front office. He used to race some old Toyotas and stuff like that. So those guys really kind of helped me get into it. Before that, I was really just a car guy.
Well, that's what it takes. That's what it takes, is being a car guy. I mean, so all right, since you're a car guy, go ahead, let me know. What's your dream car?
Oh, see, I get that question a lot, and it's really hard to say because I don't really hold myself to any one particular brand or anything like that. I think right now, I do really like the Ram TRX. Those are pretty cool trucks, even though I'm not really a truck guy. But I think also if I had the chance, I am a big European car guy, and I do really like the Volvo V90. That's actually kind of my hidden loves for Volvos, which gets a lot of questions when I say that, being a car guy, but it is.
I could see that. I can see the questions there. It's that's not the normal thing we hear coming from cars. See, it's really funny because I'm the my dream car has always been a 1967 Camaro SS. But I'm not one of those guys that they're like, these guys, older guys sit around and, oh, this car had such engine in it with this transmission, this carburetor. And I'm like, I don't know none of that. I know I want that car. This is the one I want. I don't know nothing about the rest of them. I care less about the rest of them.
Yeah, and I really didn't come from a family of people that were into cars, so I kind of had to find my own path. And I really got into the Volvos because they were cheap, and a lot of them were rear-wheel drive, easy to work on.
There you go.
And, I mean, when you're just getting into cars, it's pretty much what you want.
I've heard from some guys, especially like you talk about track stuff like that. Those are some really fun cars to drive on the track, though.
Yeah, they are. And if you ever get the chance to talk to Austin Cindric, you can ask him about his V8 Swap 240. I ran into him at Darlington and asked him about that, and I think he was a little taken aback that someone actually knew that he had that going on. But
I'm gonna have to talk.
Yeah, there are some Cup guys that are into them.
Cool deal. All right, well, let's get in a little bit deeper here at SRI. What is your position at SRI?
So I think my official title is marketing specialist, but I usually just say I'm in marketing. So I do a little bit of everything in marketing. I run all the social media pages. I do a little bit of the website work. I do email campaigns, but just like last weekend at Hickory, I'm also usually at the track, sometimes running a tent, just, shooting stuff for content at the track and at the shop.
Hey. So now all you guys out there, y'all know who gets all this good stuff on the social medias. So you point the finger at
Jack. And we usually keep pretty standard on Facebook and Instagram, but if you ever see something a little weirder on Twitter, that's how I'm just kind of messing around at work trying to kill some time.
Hey, well, I'm gonna tell you, I know quite a few of them guys up there. There's a lot of things to mess around with up there. I mean, you can really get them going up there. Just
oh yeah, for sure.
Just really talk to them guys. Most of them at the sales counter for whatever reason. Talk to them guys about our iRacing league. It really gets them going. They almost start fights over that stuff.
Oh yeah. I mean, iRacing and PC racing in general really brings out some interesting sides of some people. I've never done the iRacing myself, but I know I'm in a racing league in Assetto Corsa called Two Drink Tuesdays, where everyone has a couple drinks and then goes out and does some laps, and that always brings out the characters.
See, I really think, and see, I'm throwing you an idea here. I think our iRacing leagues, they get so crazy. You ever see I'm trying to remember, what was that show that was on Discovery? You remember Madhouse? Did you ever see it that they did at Bowman Gray with all the modified guys?
I don't think I've ever seen the show, but I have been to Bowman Gray to experience it myself. I have seen it a time or two.
Well, then you could definitely imagine what it was about. They showed the race, and then they showed all the week after or between races, and the guys just going at it online and at each other and talking junk about each other. I really think we could about make a reality series between the guys in these iRacing leagues.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't even have to fabricate the drama; it would just naturally come.
Yeah, I mean, so easy. Oh,
yeah, it seems like every other week something's happening in Bowman Gray. I mean, we even put it in our newsletter because it's just that often.
It's great. It's great. Oh, so anyway, how long have you been at SRI?
I think I'm sneaking up on about 6 months, so I actually have not been here that long.
Been there just long enough to.
But I'm sure glad that I ended up here. That's for sure.
It's so.
Interesting bunch of characters and good people.
They definitely are. It's like I tell a lot of people when we're talking about SRI that some of the greatest people you ever meet and some of the most knowledgeable when it comes to racing. And that's the crazy thing to me, is because just like all the different cars you were talking about earlier, is when it comes to the racing world, stuff isn't necessarily always specific to one vehicle, but these guys got to know what they can do to make it work on their car. And these guys that are at SRI always seem very, very knowledgeable on stuff like that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and the guys that work, especially in, the new and the used stuff, it's amazing. They can go up to a control arm or a spring on the wall and immediately be able to tell you what kind of chassis it's for and the spring rate and what they'd use it for, and what track it might be optimal for. And I always realize that I still have so much to learn, and just learning all the different series and all the cars in those series, it's a lot of knowledge for one person, that's for sure.
You're right. Well, in your time being there and the stuff you see, what seems like some of the top selling products there at SRI?
Man, it's hard to say. It seems like whatever we post on social media seems to be, that week's item that'll fly off the shelf. I really couldn't tell you. It seems like it could be anything. Sometimes you get people coming in here for a nut and a bolt. Sometimes people are walking out of here with a pallet of stuff so big they need to get a forklift just to load it into their truck. It's pretty crazy.
That's why I tell them all the time anyway. I'm like, there's not one item you go there for. This is Walmart for race cars. There's
Yeah,
a little bit of
exactly.
everything.
And that's pretty much what I was telling people this weekend. They say, "What's SRI?" And I says, "Well, we do sell a little bit of everything, so it's hard to explain."
It amazed me. I've came up there before and toured the places with the guys and stuff, and like you were talking about just a little while ago, the used parts up there amazes me, and because there's so much stuff for one thing, but it's just knowing what it came off of, knowing what it could be used for. And I've talked to guys, that's running I don't know, like a street stock or something. Well, they walk in there and they see this piece of carbon fiber or something that came out of a cup car and all this stuff, and they're like, well, I could use that here to make my car better. And that's the crazy thing that people don't really understand, that y'all have tons of on the shelf.
Yeah, I mean, we're essentially a race team that doesn't have any race cars.
That's right.
I mean, there's enough in here to put together race cars. We're just missing a chassis and a driver, and you'd pretty much have a full-blown race team. I mean, we got pit boxes, you got helmets and seats and headers and all that sort of stuff, and even tools. I mean, people are always surprised. They only expect race car parts, and we have like stuff that you could use in your garage too, and stuff that I'll walk through there and go, ooh, I could use that from my own toolbox and ring it up. So
exactly. Well, I'm just gonna let you know, if you ever talk them into getting that chassis, I'll come drive for them.
I think we do have one out back, but I don't know what the deal is with it. Some old Gaunt Bros chassis. I actually ended up using it for one of our product promos because it's getting a little rusty and sad back there.
That.
So
I watched that video.
Spruce it up a little bit. Yeah. So we just spruced it up a little bit. I think it was either donated to us or given to us on consignment, and then it was supposed to go somewhere to a tech school that fell through. So now it's just sitting out back looking a little misused, but maybe one day.
I was fixing to say, y'all keep spraying it down, it'll look brand new again. So
Yeah.
Oh, good deal. Well, being on the marketing side, I know you probably helped Sasha with some of all that, the events and everything got going on up there. So what kind of events y'all got coming up, or what you got that you're going to?
Well, like I said, we did the Hickory Throwback Race on Saturday, which is being rerun this coming Friday because of the rain. But we do a bigger events like that. I know we're going to be doing some of the Charlotte dirt events. PRI is a big, the big trade show that we go to. Most of the stuff that me and Sasha attend is either late in the year or early in the year, like Speed Weeks down in Florida. Usually I try to get to some of the more local NASCAR tracks and just kind of hang out at the trailer. So Darlington, Charlotte, stuff like that. I'm hoping maybe to get up to Watkins Glen, but it's a lot of travel for one guy on one weekend. But
that is a lot.
Other than that,
that's what I want to make it to myself.
Yeah, and then we also have a Eldora event coming up. We're putting on kind of a fan jam, as we're calling it. We're getting some bands to come in and play. I don't know the specifics of that, but I know it'll be all over our social media when the time comes.
For sure, man. We'll tell it. I know it's pretty easy and pretty forward there, but let everybody know how to find you guys on all that social media that you're putting out there.
Gotcha. Yeah. So we have a lot. Our main channels for SRI Performance are Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's all at SRI Performance. Stock Car Steel also has a Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Same deal. They're all at Stock Car Steel and Aluminum. And then if you want to stay kind of updated on what's coming in, we have a monthly kind of newsletter that we do through our website that you can just sign up with your email. We do all of our new product announcements, some promos, giveaways, stuff like that in there. We try to keep them pretty interesting. I said when I started doing them, I said I don't want these to be boring copy newsletters that you just kind of throw away. I try to make them pretty engaging, pretty funny, keep people interested. And that also has our link tree, which links to all of our other social medias like YouTube, TikTok, stuff like that.
Well, good deal, man. Well, cool. Well, Jack, we sure do appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us this week, man. It's been fun.
Yeah, appreciate you guys having me.
For sure, man. All right, guys. Well, you just heard him. Y'all need to get up to SRI Performance and get all the parts that you need. And also, like I just said, Stock Car Steel and everywhere else that they got up there. So, but anyway, guys, this has been this week's edition of Hotlaps. All right, guys, you heard it right there on Hotlaps. That SRI is the place to buy all your race parts, as we tell y'all every week. So head on over to SRI Performance and pick yourself up any and everything you might need for your race car. And you will not be disappointed. By no means, ever. You will not. So, like I say, always head over to www.sriperformance.com. Go pick yourself up. Get it all in that basket. Whatever you want, whatever you need, get it all in there at the time of checkout. Go to promo code. Put in promo code CBONE10. That's C as in
Chicken.
BONE 10 and get yourself 10% off there at time of checkout. And guys, while you're there, head over to Stock Car Steel and Aluminum. Same deal, guys. They got everything you need structural wise for your race car and anything else material wise that you will need for anything. So head over to Stock Car Steel, get all the building material as far as all your metals, aluminum sheets, painted aluminum sheets for the car. Build your new roll cage. Get somebody that knows how to build a roll cage. But I'm gonna tell you what, there was a roll cage built. I don't know where it came from, but it had to be some material from Stock Car Steel. There was a guy over here at Sumter this past week, rolled his little SCDRA car down the front straightaway about 4 or 5 times.
Wow!
Took a nasty tumble, and that roll cage looked brand new when they turned it over. Zero issues with it. So that was a well built. I like seeing that out of those cars because I'm gonna tell you what, I think when they first started with those cars, I think some of them guys was building roll cages with exhaust pipe.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
So I like seeing. I don't want to see none of them wreck by no means or flip or nothing like that. But when they do, you like to see that they had safety equipment on or good safety equipment in the car. So get yourself some good safety tubing, all your Pro Moly tubings, everything else from Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, guys. While you're up that way, head over to our friends over at Earl Ramey Racing Engines. Pick yourself up some horsepower to go under your hood. Guys, some of the best in the business. It was really funny, though. I got a picture this past weekend from our friend Andrew Garris from Profab Headers. He sends me a picture of Earl Ramey standing on the beach. Got a Yeti cup in his hand, got a big old Chicken Bone Alley sticker around the side of it. I said, how about that? Custom. I love it. So when he gets back to the shop, guys, he's probably there right now. When he gets back to the shop, you guys head over there, get you some horsepower to go under your hood. Why are you talking about it? Get it on that chassis dyno, and see what all kind of bolt-ons. And like I just said about our buddy Andrew Garris, go over to him, get you some Profab headers to go on there because they're going to pick up horsepower on that Earl Ramey Racing engine because they're built for it pretty much. So head over there, get yourself some of the best headers on the market for sure. Speaking of headers and Profab headers, I don't know that they run theirs, but I think they kind of build a lot for the whole. I think they build all the tailpipes now for NASCAR. I have to get that straight. That's how I understood it. Did you see Chris Buescher by chance in the Cup race?
I did not.
Well, he took a hit. Somebody hit him on the inside, or I say on the inside. No, it was not on the inside. It was the passenger side door of his car. And what it did was it pushed the exhaust pipe kind of up into the door. Well, they got that foam in the door?
Right.
He going around the track, and the foam catches on fire.
Oh, goodness.
Let me tell you about Chris Buescher, though. Chris Buescher's a man. He's a better man than I am. That's all I can tell him. He goes in the pits. They pull fire extinguishers out. He never even drops the window net. He just like, go at it. Go at it. Get it out. They got it out. Got all the door foam pulled away. He takes off.
God.
Well, when they get another chance to come back in, he does drop the window net this time just so they can get some blowers and stuff in there. And they tried to blow out all the fire extinguisher powder and stuff out the car so he could see. They had to clean the inside of the windshield and all this other stuff. He comes back from being on fire, one point being 2 laps down, finishes 10th place.
That's awesome, man. Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie. I tried to reach out to him and get him on the show today just because I wanted to talk about that.
That's crazy. God.
I said, that fool's a man, though, if he can sit there and breathe in all that daggone fire extinguisher does, because that stuff puts the worst taste in your mouth and everything else. Good Lord.
Yes.
So that was pretty cool. That was a pretty good race. Let's see Tyler Reddick going back to victory lane there.
Yeah, that's crazy. Restarts were crazy.
Restart.
Crazy.
I thought they was running the ARCA race or something, though, man. They were just running over everybody.
I don't understand that. I really don't. I do not get it because they know what's going to come of that every time they do it.
Well,
they still do it.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you something that I didn't agree with yesterday. I saw it one time. It happened earlier in the race. Bubba Wallace goes to avoid a wreck, so he goes through the road that NASCAR told them that they could go on to avoid a wreck. Well,
right.
The last restart comes up. Ross Chastain will be on the outside of about 5 wide, and they all push each other off the track anyway. So what does Ross Chastain do? He dips to the road that they told them in driver's meeting that they could go on if this happened. Him and Austin Dillon both went to it.
Yep.
And they black flagged them, put them in the back of the lead lap.
Yeah, I don't get that either. I do not understand that.
I'm like, if it's good for one, why is it not good for both?
Yeah, they're gonna have to say yay or nay on that because, I really feel like that was their strategy regardless to see because of how much craziness is in that corner throughout the race, much less at overtime in that race. I really feel like that was their strategy all along.
Right.
He didn't look like he was committed for that first right-hand corner.
Well, if you went, I thought that too, but I went back and watched a couple times. They showed the like the helicopter blimp view of it, and he actually did. He slowed down and was turning right already, but when he saw them piling off the track, he just hits the gas and turns back left and goes straight. He was going to the corner. He was going in turn 1, actually. And that's why he went around everybody that was, so I don't know. I don't agree with it.
No, I don't either. I mean, if they're going to make it okay to do it throughout the race, they got to make it okay with overtime.
What I think on it is they should have, if you go on this road, you can go on the miss, but you've got to come to a stop. And then you can take off.
Right. Just like it be at Watkins Glen if you missed the bus stop or whatever.
Exactly. I think that should have been the rule the whole time. I think that should always be the rule. If you were taking a path on the track that is not the track, you have to come to a stop, then go.
Yeah, so, I agree with that for sure. Yeah.
So,
but like you say, hats off to Tyler, man. That's cool. Two road courses in a row.
It sure was. That was really cool. Really, really, really cool. But anyway, what else we got this week?
I don't know, man. Yeah, like you say, you're going to get the car ready for another weekend at Florence and the regular crowd at Florence, I guess, if you will. And see, hopefully the weather will hold off and y'all can get a good turnout and get a bunch of cars over there and pick up where you left off.
Hopefully so. Yep, we're going to try to. But anyway, guys, like I say every week, want to thank all our help on here. SRI Performance, Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, Earl Ramey Racing Engines, RK Motorsports Consulting, also Profab Headers and Exhaust, also MPM, McAllister Precision Marketing. If you need help in your marketing of your race team, go talk to Tanya over at MPM. She can hook you up, get you pointed in the right direction, put you in front of all the eyes that you will ever need in the racing industry. Also, guys, I want to thank Ford Bite apparel. Go get you some Ford bike, guys. It's some of the coolest racing apparel on the market. Every racer wants it, as they say. Also, go check out Checkered, the race hub. We're on Checkered. You get on Checkered. We'll all be on Checkered. But anyway, guys. All right. Well, it's been good. Been short. I'm going to go play some softball, I think. So,
Yeah, man. Don't sweat too much.
I'm going to try not to. All right, guys. Well, I reckon we will catch y'all next week.
Later.